Hello Math 7. Today we are going to do one of the last lesson of algebraic equation. Today's lesson title is I believe is lesson number 5. If it's not, please continue from the previous lesson. The title is two-step equation. And the reason that we're talking about two-step is because, like the word suggests, we have to deal with a situation where instead of one operation, we have to do multiple steps. Like the word suggests, two operations involved. So, let's start with our class note first. Two-step equations involve two different types of operations so two-step equations involve two different types of operations in one equation. Two-step equations involve two different types of operations in one equation. What I mean by that is, for example, if you're dealing with any multiplication or division, the second type of equation that you will see is probably addition or subtraction. These two in Math 7 generally work independently. And you can consider these multiplication and division as one of the step number 1, either multiplication or division, followed by step number 2, addition or subtraction, or vice versa. It can be addition or subtraction first, and then followed by multiplication and division. And there are several types of a two-step equation, but what I'm going to do as one of the most is ax plus b is equal to c type is what we are going to look at today. Let's analyze this example first. So let's rewrite this. Ax plus b is equal to c. What does that mean? First thing first, a is our numerical coefficient. X is our variable. B is our constant. And I like to say this constant can be any integer, which means it can be positive or negative. It can be thus adding by 5, for example, or subtracted by 3, something like that. And C is our one of those constant value that is equivalent. That's what this equal sign means. So today what we're going to do is basically construct these two-step equation using models, and number 2, how to solve it. So let's do some class example first. Class example. Number 1, construct a model that depicts means showing. Construct a model that depicts 2x plus 8 is equal to 12. Something like that. So, first thing first, we're gonna use two different way. Number one, they use cup and tile, or number two, the one that we use basically tiles, that is for variable and constant, is what I want to point that out. Let's do a cup and tile first. Always remember the first, well, I don't want to say first, I'll take that back. Whatever the numerical coefficient and variable, those terms represent cups. So that's a fancy way of saying have to draw two cups. Followed by, when it comes to my constant, you have positive integers. So let's make a little legend. For example, what I colored, you can have a positive 1. Whatever I non-color, you can have negative 1. In this case, this is easy because we can draw 8 of the colored tile. That is equal to 12. Positive 12. So you can draw 12 tiles. This is what you can do first. Just for the heads up, we're gonna solve this later. So please leave some space on the right side. When we solve this question, we're gonna revisit this. Second way, different way of showing. Number two, if it's using our tile, let's say I'm gonna create a question for this even. 4x minus 3, that is equal to 5, something like that. If you use variable tile and others, my suggestion that I did for last time was create a certain balanced. It doesn't look like a one line, sorry about that. Imagine those are equal level. Variable, we generally show a long strip. So first long strip, second, third, fourth, something like that. Now minus 3, that's an empty tile, so what you can do, you can put that empty one over there. Followed by, on the right side, positive 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. Make sure those are lined up like this. It looked like lined up now. Maybe it was an angle that I show you. This is how we model an equation. So make sure that left side always equal to your right side is what I want to point that out to you. Now, one of the most important section, how to solve it, is now our focus. Generally, there are two steps. Number one, eliminate constant term first is what I want to point that out. What I mean by that is constant term, you will have two situations, either adding or subtracting. Number two, apply opposite operation. You need to do either to eliminate the constant term, or number two, eliminate numerical coefficient, which is for isolation step. We learned about that last time. Number three, calculate numbers for the variable. We need to now calculate whatever the isolated number side. So let's do this. I'm gonna do one example without the model, and I'm gonna do the other example that we did above to solve. So class example number 2. I believe the previous example that we had was this. So again, it's the same example as a previous page, but I'm gonna do without the model and I'm gonna do with the model. So first thing first, this is my variable. Right now, we have adding going on, which means we need to do opposite operation of adding, which is subtracting. So what you can do is this. Plus 8 minus 8 on both sides. This is my opposite operation. Once you have that, you can eliminate those and say 2x is equal to 12 minus 8, that is 4. Now, once you do this first step, you will always end it up going into one-step equation afterward. So have that in your mind. So, that's a fancy way of saying we have to do opposite operation again, because right now, what's happening in between is my multiplication. So we need to do opposite of multiplication, which is division. So you can say 2x over 2, that is equal to 4 over 2. Some people prefer doing this way, or if you really want, 2x divided by 2, 4 divided by 2. I do not mind which one you use because both way is correct way in Math 7. If you do 2 divided by 2, they cancel out. If you do the same thing, 2 divided by 2, they cancel out. So if you not combine, if I showed both of the conclusion, x is equal to 4 over 2 or 4 divided by 2, I don't mind which one you use, and 4 divided by 2 ended up going number 2. Now let's go back with our model example. First model one, 2x plus 8 situation. I'll show, this is the exact same pattern. So let's see whether the number 4, what was the answer from before? 2, sorry. 2, let's see whether it become the right answer or not. This is my constant. You need to get rid of that. The one way you can get rid of that is we need to make 0 pair. So I have 8 of the color tile. So what you can do, add 4 blank 1, but make sure you have to do the same thing on the other side. Then what happens is each of these guys are becoming 0 because of the 0 pair. If you look at it, these two cancel out, and we can cancel another rows. Now, if I look at these situations, those are remainder. So what you can write is 2 cup should be 1, 2, 3, 4 different tile. Once that happens, I like to say distribute evenly. So I have 2 cups with 4 tiles, so you know what? You can distribute 2 in each. And what's inside of each become your answer. So your answer is 2. This is how you can solve the 2-step equation using the model. If you like to do without the model, feel free. It is just one of the methods. You don't have to do each of the questions using the tile. My other example was 4x minus 3. So let's do that example. Again, without the model's help, we're gonna do that first. First thing first. We have subtraction going on. Opposite of subtraction is addition. So what you can do, 4x minus 3, copy the left side, plus 3. This is my opposite operation, equal to 5 plus 3. You have to do the same operation on the right side, because you have to be fair. Minus 3 and plus 3 cancel out, so if I rewrite, 4x is equal to 5 plus 3, that is 8. And ladies and gentlemen, right now we have our one-step equation. And you know what? That is an okay situation, because you always ended up having one-step equation once you successfully do the first step. Now you need to do opposite operation. These are multiplying together, so we need to think about our opposite operation, which is division. So 4x over 4, that is equal to 8 over 4. You can do this way, or 4x divided by 4, that is equal to 8 divided by 4. It doesn't matter which one you choose, because it's the same explanation using different type of symbol. So 4 over 4, they cancel out. 4x divided by 4, these two cancel out. So long story short, you're gonna have x that is equal to 8 over 4 or 8 divided by 4. Again, which one you prefer, which will again turn out to be 2. I actually didn't plan to be 2 for every answer, but that's what we have for. If we go back to the model example in previous page, let's solve this. Now, method is very same. I need to deal with this blank 3, 1 out of my picture, because we need to isolate them. So what we can do, again, you need to think about 0 pair. 1, 2, 3 color tile. 1, 2, 3 color tile. Then you know what? As you may notice, blank 1 and filled 1 are going off. And what you have now, if I rewrite it, we have 4 x's on the left side with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on the right side. Now, at this point, if you guys remember, we need to do even distribution. So how can we distribute these 8 tiles evenly to each of them? Well, what you can do is basically you can distribute 2 at a time to have a fair distribution, so your answer become positive 2. Again, what method you would like to use does not matter. You can do any different method. You can use your model method, or you can use your own method, which is algebraic method. Whatever you want to do, I want you to give it a shot. Now, homework question. For your homework, I'm gonna give you 2 different sections because we have double math blocks today. So one of the part that we are going to do, it's a 2 different section. For textbook page 411, 456, for 12 number 7. This is for two-step equation. Oops, sorry, 6 and 8. My bad. One-step equation situation. I want you to do textbook page. Sorry about the disconnection, but I put the textbook page. We have technically total 10 questions with parts. These are the homework not necessarily for tomorrow, because tomorrow we're gonna have a reinforcements class. So this is for our Monday and Tuesday homework. So it's a 2-day worth homework. But anyway, I don't mind which page you start. Personally, I prefer starting with the 1-step first, followed by 2-step, because this is how easier questions are located at, followed by the tougher questions. But have that in your mind. You guys have both blocks for this lesson, so please work on that now.